This is Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles from Safe Harbor Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Corey provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles.
Hello and welcome back to Financially Fit Radio. My name is Corey Sickles from Safe Harbor Retirement Group and Wealth Advisors. If you would like more information about what you hear during our show today, just give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit us online at safeharboroh.com. And while you're on our website, click on that radio page. You can check out past shows and subscribe to our program on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, or Spotify. Also, feel free to visit our YouTube page by typing in Safe Harbor Retirement Group to watch videos on different financial topics. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions or if you want to set up a face-to-face or virtual meeting. And remember, all meetings are complimentary with no obligation. Well, Happy New Year. It's hard to believe 2023 is officially here. And, one of the things that we want to talk about today is, we want to talk about improving your finances in the coming year. It can have a huge benefit on your overall financial well-being. It may reduce worries about debt or not having enough savings to cover an emergency. It would be wise to concentrate on your financial health in the upcoming year. And really what we want to focus on today is really your New Year resolutions from a financial standpoint for 2023. But before we kind of dive into that topic, let me introduce to you my co-host this week and every week, and that's Tony Shore. Tony, how are you today?
I am so good, Corey. I've had just a great week, and I love this time of year as we're looking at 2023 here. It's going to be a good one. I have a good feeling about this year, Corey, and I think it's important to stay positive, have a good attitude about it, but yet make sure you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed when it comes to your finances. So this is going to be a great show. How have you been? Have you been keeping busy?
I have been, Tony. It's always great to kind of wind down a little bit. Yep. The end of the year, last year, not too many people really want to meet the last couple weeks, of 2022, right, which is kind of nice. It kind of allows me to get some stuff done, set some business goals, just like we're going to talk about, financial goals for many of you out there for 2023. But it's a great time for me to just to kind of, do a rewind of 2022. Yep. And believe me, from the market standpoint, 2022 could not have ended any quicker.
Yeah, really. I mean, between inflation, rising inflation, interest rates, and the market volatility and the down year in the markets, we're all looking forward to some improvements this coming year, right?
We are.
Yeah.
We definitely are, right? I mean, hopefully inflation's going to, not be like it was back in 2022. I mean, I would imagine it's still going to be higher than our 2% or 2.5% inflation rate that, that we always try to strive to. But, this is kind of it's a great time. I know many of our listeners out there are probably in the process of, looking to get that gym membership, here in January, that then it kind of peters off as the course of the year kind of goes through. But, when you have a new year, there's new expectations. Yeah. Everyone gets excited about it. And, really one of the things that you need to do is, and we'll talk about some of the things you want to do, but it's creating habits. If you can create a habit, not only from the financial standpoint, but from the personal standpoint, you're going to be better off. The easiest thing for me, Tony, is I do go to a trainer, and I go to them 3 days a week. Wow. For me, by paying them, a fee, per session, it forces me to kind of stick to my program.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need that accountability, and a lot of us need that accountability not only to, do things like lose weight in the new year. A lot of people make that a New Year's resolution, but for our finances as well, right? And that's what you help your clients do too.
It's exactly right. I rely on my trainer to make sure that he works me out hard every time I go there. And it's really the same thing with an advisor. The advisor is really going to make sure that you set goals, financial goals, and more importantly, it's our job to make sure that you kind of stick to it, right? If you stick to it, things are going to be good for you. I mean, believe me, the nice part about having a financial plan is, retirement planning can go wrong. It can change. But if you're working with an advisor, they're going to be able to adapt with you. Maybe you lose a job or who knows what. But, we're going to be able to kind of reset those goals to make sure that you get back on track. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure you always have that worry-free retirement. What if your investments lose money? In 2022 was a great experience for many people out there, because we had such a bull run for so many years that people just kind of forget that the market can go down.
Yeah.
And
it kept setting record highs, and so and it'll do that again. If history is any indicator, which it usually is, the market always ends up going up overall. But you do have down years once in a while, right?
Yeah, you do have some down years. That's a great time. This is a great time to make sure that you're allocated the correct way. It's a good time to go out to our website at safeharboroh.com and do that the color of money risk analysis. When you go out to our website, it says take a quiz. You can go right out there and find out what your risk score is, and then we can help you to make sure that you're actually allocated to that risk score as well. But the one thing that I really need to be able to stress more than anything is you do need to set goals. And that's what an advisor's there is to work with you. And then, our job is to make sure that you stick to it and you do stay on track. Of course, one of the things that you can definitely do when we start talking about goals, this is a new year. You can kind of go back and look at your budget, right? Odds are your budget increased from last year. Inflation, was up, anywhere from 7 to 8% for the year. And of course, things cost more, which means you have to spend more money. But hopefully, you're still saving that 10 to 15% of that paycheck per month in order to meet your long-term financial goals. And just like anything else, this is a great time to be able to look at that emergency fund that you have. Maybe you had to dip into that for whatever reason in 2022. Maybe you lost a job, or more importantly, maybe you even had to all of a sudden pay for that air conditioner or pay for some type of appliance that went out. So you definitely want to make sure that you build that emergency fund up, back to that. What I would recommend is about 6 months of your monthly expenses. And this is if you're going through your budget, you need to know exactly what you're spending per month. And you really need to have a high level overview of, where that money is going. Are you using subscriptions and things like that you no longer use? It's a great time to be able to cancel some of those things as well.
Yeah, I think that's really good. You have to look at a lot. Maybe going into the new year, reduce that debt, look at your spending. Those are important things. Set goals. Set goals to reduce any debt, especially debt where the interest has gone up. Adjustable rate HELOC or home equity loans, adjustable rate mortgages, credit cards, things like that. You want to make sure that's a big part of your goal setting is to reduce debt, right?
Yep. You definitely want to be able to reduce debt as well. And one of the things we just talked about the emergency fund a second ago, but the other thing that you need to kind of sit down for 2023 is what expenses am I going to be able to have that I already know that's going to happen, right? Do I want to go on vacation? How much is that vacation going to be able to cost? And again, you want to be able to potentially take that out of your emergency fund, but you also want to make sure that you build it up. In my case, Tony, I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I might have to be, putting a new roof on. Right. So that's a large expense that's not in that normal, month-to-month budget. So I have to be able to kind of plan for that. But having that emergency fund is so important because you don't know what's going to happen in 2023. Are people going to lose jobs out there? And if you are going to be, if you do lose a job, that money's got to come from somewhere, and you do not want to take it out of your retirement savings. Right. It has to come out of that emergency fund. And then if you do have to dip into it, and then once you get back on your feet, you need to be able to build that emergency fund back up. I can't stress how important it is to have that emergency fund. And if 2020, with all the COVID and all that type of stuff, didn't actually bring that to the forefront for you, then something's really wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people experienced where they had to dip in to their retirement savings instead of having those emergency funds as well.
Yeah, and so you want to build those emergency funds back up, or make sure you have one that's sufficient. You've said 3 to 6 months worth of expenses or your income saved up in an emergency fund, while also not neglecting putting money into your retirement accounts. It's a tricky balance, but if you work with a financial services professional such as yourself, it is achievable. No matter what you're making, you can make this happen.
That's correct. And another thing I think everyone should really look at right now too is look at your debt. Hopefully most of you out there didn't overspend on all your holiday gifts, Christmas gifts, and things like that. But you need to be able to make sure that you're in the process of not only saving, but you also want to be able to reduce that debt. A lot of debt, when we start talking about, vehicles and mortgages, that's one thing. But you do not want to be able to owe other types of things where you're actually paying credit cards, high interest rates, or in some cases out there, even a lot of student loans as well. So, if you go in and talk with a financial advisor and kind of show, the nice part about working with an advisor, not only are we going to look at what you're saving, but we're also going to be able to look at your debt, and we can put together a plan in order to help you get out of that debt long term as well.
Yeah, there you go. And that's what I was thinking. Debt is a big thing that you need to work on getting paid down. That's a good goal to have for the new year, for 2023. And I think that'll put you in a much better place, and you'll sleep well at night knowing, hey, I've got a plan. It's not like going to magic. You can just magically get rid of all your debt. But if you have a plan to pay it off, no matter how far out that plan is, you have a plan and you're working toward it, that'll help you sleep well at night, right?
It does. It definitely helps you sleep well. The better that you prepare, right? You can even use a sports analogy, right? The better that you prepare, if you're a quarterback or any type of a player in a football, on a football team, right? You need to be able to prepare. You just can't show up and play on Sundays or Saturdays, or if you're in high school, play on a Friday night. You have to be able to make sure that you put in all the prep work in order to make sure that, to ensure that you're going to be successful.
Right.
So things just don't happen overnight. The better plan that you have, the more it's going to be easier not only to adjust, but it's going to also to make sure that, the day that you want to retire is the day you can retire, because you've put in all the work to make sure that it's going to happen when you want it to be able to happen.
Yeah, that's the key right there. Well, you know what, Corey? We should probably take a quick break right now. But before we do, why don't you let our listeners know once again how they can get a hold of you and set up that no charge, no obligation consultation?
No problem, Tony. For our listeners out there, just feel free to go to our website at safeharboroh.com or give us a call at 614-760-0670. And, when you do call in or visit our website, you can schedule a complimentary no obligation meeting with us. We're going to be able to sit down with you. If you don't have a financial plan, we can put a plan in place for you. And again, if you already have a plan, we can be that second set of eyes and provide a second opinion. There's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion in order to make sure that you're on track to have the retirement that you really dream of. So again, just give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit our website at safeharboroh.com.
All right, thanks, Corey. And listeners, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more of Financially Fit Radio and our host, Corey Sickles, after this.
There are 96 different months you could file for Social Security benefits. There's over 9,000 combinations if you are married. But that's not all. There's advanced filing strategies that can also be used. By the time you factor it all in, there are over 20,000 calculations that need to be run to find the best way to file for Social Security benefits. To request your complimentary Social Security Maximization Report from Safe Harbor Retirement Group, visit safeharboroh.com. The Social Security Maximization Report will tell you exactly what to do and exactly when to do it.
Hello and welcome back to Financially Fit Radio. My name is Corey Sickles from Safe Harbor Retirement Group and Wealth Advisors. If you'd like more information about what you hear during our show today, just give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit us online at safeharboroh.com. And while you're on our website, click on that radio page to check out past shows and subscribe to our program on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, or Spotify. Also, feel free to visit our YouTube page by typing in Safe Harbor Retirement Group to watch videos on different financial topics. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions or if you want to set up a face-to-face or virtual meeting. And remember, all meetings are complimentary with no obligation. Well, today, Tony, we're talking about really New Year's financial resolutions for 2023. And the next thing I kind of want to talk about is we all want to make sure our family is secure. So, of course, we have health care, and by this time, you've already selected the Medicare. If you're retired, you've already selected the Medicare plan that you're on, and you've already accepted, if you're employed, you're already on that health care program as well. So there's no big issues there. But one of the other things that you really have to look at is if something would happen to yourself today, or maybe even your spouse, are you guys going to be financially able to move forward, pay all the bills and things like that? So one of the things you definitely want to look at is, do you have enough life insurance? Of course, one of the things I would highly recommend, especially if you have kids, you need to have, a higher life insurance death benefit in case something happens. Not only, is your income going to be lost, but, those kids potentially need to be able to go to school. You want to be able to take care of your spouse, not only from a monetary standpoint, but it's just from a mindset too, from a health well-being as well. The last thing someone wants to do is worry about how they're going to pay those bills coming up because one of the spouses do pass. So this is a great time, I would think, to sit down with your advisor. That's one of the things that we do. Look at your life insurance to make sure that you have enough life insurance in case, you have that untimely death. We never know when our day is going to come. And you definitely just want to make sure that you're going to be able to take care of the people that you do love.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because I know you've said to me before that people come to you and often they're either overinsured or they're underinsured, right? They don't have enough. Maybe they don't have any life insurance and they're married or have kids, or maybe they have too much of a type of insurance that really doesn't apply to them at their age or at their for their time horizon. So it's really important to get a life insurance review and an overall insurance review and see where you're at and how it ties into your overall retirement and financial plan. So great point, Corey. And I know this is something you help your clients out with all the time. But life insurance can get confusing. There are different types, and everybody's situation is different.
Yeah, everyone's situation is different. But one of the things I see more than anything, Tony, is a lot of people have a lot of life insurance, from that 40 to 60 range, right? And then where the problem kind of comes into play is once you're 60 or retired, now the cost of insurance is so much more. And that's where you kind of have to get that permanent insurance. So, we can put together definitely plans to look at you now to make sure that, you can have that permanent insurance later on in life, but you're going to get it when you're a lot younger.
Yeah.
Again, everyone's situation's different, but you definitely need to be able to take care of that. And that kind of leads into the next thing, Tony, and that is, If you're talking about making sure your family is going to be financially secure, you also want to make sure that you have all your legal documents done as well. The one thing you want to do is avoid probate. We can help you make sure that you do that. You want to make sure that you have a will or potentially even have a trust. We can sit down and find out which is best for your unique situation. But you want to have your financial power of attorney, your healthcare power of attorney, and of course your living will. You want to be able to make sure that you have that done. If you don't have one, this is the great time to do it. You're starting off a new year. Let's get things, started the right way by getting those types of things in order in case something does untimely happen.
Right, and that's really important. Wills and powers of attorney, medical power of attorney, these types of things are really important to have in place, especially as we get older. It's crucial.
It is crucial. And, the other side of it that I kind of want to touch base on too, this is a great time to be able to also start engaging in proper tax planning as well. Right? Yep. I mean, we know at the end of this month, everyone's going to get their W-2s, the 1099s, and all that type of stuff come late January, early to mid-February. And then you're going to do your taxes. But the question really is, are you actually, doing it the right way? You have one thing about doing your 22 taxes, but you also have to work with an advisor that's also looking out not only for 2023, but what's your 2030 or 2035? Or what's your tax situation going to look like in retirement?
Right.
The earlier that you can plan for that, the better off you're going to be. I always say it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Yeah.
And that's a good analogy when you start talking about taxes. The goal should always be to pay to Uncle Sam as least as possible. And the only way to be able to do that is to have a tax plan, just like you would have a retirement plan as well. They kind of go hand in hand, and that's what when you work with a holistic advisor, we're going to be able to make sure that you understand that as well.
I mean, a retirement plan or a financial plan isn't just, I've got a 401k or an IRA, I've got some stocks, or, I've got this insurance policy. It's really overall planning that includes things like healthcare, inflation, insurance, other types of insurance, and taxes, and minimizing that tax burden is huge, like you say, and you're always talking about ways to minimize the tax burden, especially as we head toward retirement or in retirement, and you want to work hard on that. We all want to minimize our tax burden, obviously. The less we pay in taxes, the better. It's not about how much you make, it's what you can keep and utilize, and you want to keep as much as possible, especially if you're in retirement and need it for income or to maintain your lifestyle. So we're almost out of time for today's show, Corey. Let our listeners know again about that special offer you have and how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to again say Happy New Year to everybody, to all of our listeners out there. This is a great time to be able to kick off 2023 the right way. And the best way to do that from a financial standpoint is to schedule a complimentary no-obligation meeting with us. You can visit our website at safeharboroh.com, or you can give us a call at 614-760-0670 to schedule that complimentary no-obligation meeting with us. We'll put a financial plan in place. We're going to educate you on any recommendations that we have. And if you already have a financial plan, we can, review that to make sure that you're on the right track by providing that second opinion to you. Again, our phone number is 614-760-0670, or you can always visit our website at safeharboroh.com. And again, Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year, and that does it for today's episode of Financially Fit Radio with our host, Corey Sickles.
Join us again soon for another episode of Financially Fit Radio.
Thank you for listening to Financially Fit Radio. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, contact Corey Sickles at Safe Harbor Retirement Group. Call 614-760-0670 or visit their website at financiallyfitoh.com. Corey Sickles and Safe Harbor Retirement Group are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. All matters discussed during this show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation.